In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I trade futures. I've been trading Forex crypto stocks for the past almost a decade. I've made millions of dollars in all the markets combined, and I've just started trading futures a month ago. And as a matter of fact, this first week trading futures on Top Step, you can actually see all my stats right here. I'm going to put a link in the description where you can see all of this entire page. I'll put it in the pinned comments as well. You can actually see all my stats from trading futures so far. So in this video, I'm going to show you every single thing that I do, exactly how I trade futures. And I also have an email list. It's like a newsletter thing. You can subscribe to it below. It's just where I send an email out almost every day, something that will help you in your trading. So make sure you subscribe to that below. But let's go ahead and have a look here at futures. So what I'm going to do is I'm here on TradingView. All you do is you go to TradingView, you just type in ES, right? And it's the first one by CME. That's the one I use to trade with, and that's also the one that I'm trading here on the Top Step account. So with ES, what I'm doing is I go to the 15-second chart, and that is not a mistake. It may sound insane. It may sound ridiculous. It's important to consider that futures have almost no commissions. One contract size in the ES Mini, one contract size is $2.80 to enter the trade. It is almost nothing. It is way different than Forex trading or even stock trading for that matter. Another beautiful thing is futures have zero spread. That is not a misspeak. It has zero spread. There's the price that you see. There's one line. You get filled at that exact price. It's beautiful. So whenever we go to the 15-second chart, you can actually capture a lot of trends because there's not really any commissions, right? It's very small commissions. There's not very many commissions, and also there's literally zero spread, even though it shows that there's a spread right here, which in fact, I'm going to go ahead and hide this little bid and ask bar because it just doesn't make sense to have a little spread thing there because let's just see. We're just going to remove it. So the price you see is the price you get on futures. So let's go here to replay mode. I'm going to show you everything that I do. You should understand that trading is risky and most people lose money. You know, I'm required to say that, but legitimately, like 99% of you guys are going to lose money. You should just leave this video. But for those of you who are taking trading seriously and watching this video is perfect for you. Come on, I'm going to show you everything I do. So it's taking us back here to the 20th of June. So it's a couple weeks ago from right now. We're in July of 2025. What I do is I use the 15-second chart in isolation. Now, here's why. Number one, it keeps things really, really simple. Number two, it gives you plenty of trading opportunities throughout the day. And if you look at my stats in the Top Step link below with my performance metrics, you'll see my average win is roughly twice my average loss. Just trading one contract size, not even adding to winners, and certainly not adding to losers, because in something like day trading, it can quickly go bad if you're adding to losers when you're like scalping something on the 15-second time frame. With just that, my average loss is about $70 right now. At the time I'm making this video, my average win's about $150. The reason for that is because I'm able to get a ton of trades throughout the day, and then my management of the trades that either lose or win is reflective of whether or not I'm actually profitable doing it. So with the 15-second time frame, it keeps things super simple, and you can take a million trades a day. Realistically, like 10 to 20 if you're trading during New York session, and price moves a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to let the charts paint here. I'm going to wait till I see a setup that I think is worth taking, and then we'll take it. And again, we're just going to be using one contract size. See this little thing right here at the bottom? It says one. With the TradingView replay mode, that's one contract of the ES futures. Okay, so what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to buy. Now, the reason I'm going to buy is kind of irrelevant, but I just think it's going in an uptrend. It looks like it's going in an uptrend. Looks like price is trying to bounce off this support resistance zone. You have to accept if you're using technical analysis, you're going to be right half the time and wrong half the time. But the cool part is that it doesn't matter. If you're using technical analysis, it's only to structure the risk for a trade. I don't care if you're using trend lines. I don't care if you're using support resistance or Fibonacci, Wagyu, beef, Kobe steak, institutional, bullish, candlestick, retest strategies, whatever the hell you're using, support resistance and technical analysis in general. It's just a way of structuring risk. You don't know if it'll bounce. The cool part is that if it does bounce half the time, which it will, because it's just random arbitrary zones you've drawn on the chart, then you make a little bit more money than when you lose the other half the time. Consider my actual stats doing this, right? Whenever I'm right half the time, actually I'm right even less than half the time. If you look at my win rate, it's like less than 40%, but I've still somehow been able to make money doing it. So you can even be right less than half the time, but as long as you make more in the winners versus what you lose in losers, it's all good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy right here. I'm going to put the stop just under this area. And as a matter of fact, this is a little bit too far of a distance. My max loss has been about $150 for the time I've been doing this. And my biggest win was close to $1,000. So that's how I'm going to structure the risk for there. If we lose, it'll be a small loss. And if we win, it'll be a little bit bigger of a win. So that loses And now this looks like it's broken below the zone and then it's retesting. It looks like it's going down. Again, on the 15-second chart, right? If you were doing this in Forex, this would be like at least a 15-minute chart for you to be able to have commissions low enough and a spread low enough and a potential for profit big enough. And you have to sit there and wait an entire day or 2 days or a week or 2 weeks or 16 years just for the trade to start going into profit, for you to close it at break even 16 years later. This is none of that. It's a 15-second time frame. My average winning trade is held for about 8 minutes, and my average losing trade is held for about 2 minutes in futures trading. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sell right here. I'm going to put my stop loss just above these highs here at the zone, and it's either going to bounce or it's not. What I'm going to do is if it does break this low, I'm going to move the stop to break even, and then we'll hold it and see what happens. So now it's broken back above this zone, stopped out, failed to break the zone. I still think it's going to go down. So the cool part about futures is that with the super tiny commissions and the super tiny spreads, you can just re-enter if you think the idea is going to play out. So I'm going to wait for it to break out. In this case, it has broken out. It's come back to retest. Honestly, I would just enter as soon as it breaks out, because once this thing gets moving, the momentum really carries it through here. I'm going to set a target right here at the previous lows for now. This could all change. Usually I just don't trade with hard targets in futures. I kind of watch it and I just kind of make sure that if it starts to win, I move the stop to break even, then I let it run. So in this case, it breaks back above, and then it starts to bounce here at the support again. So we're going to buy again. The stop doesn't have to be that far in this case. I'm just putting it right below the zone. That way, if it stops out, I can just get back into a sell again. So in this case, it breaks below the zone. I'm going to wait for it to pop up and get into a sell. So it does pop up. I would have gotten into a sell right there, waiting for it to break out, but it didn't break out. It didn't actually bounce right there. So we'll just, maybe I walked to go get a cup of coffee or something. In the 15 seconds, I missed it. It was right there. So we'll wait to see what this does. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to use this zone right here to structure the risk. The cool part is once you finally get a trade that gets moving, it usually goes pretty far. So it allows you to recoup a lot of the profits. So this has moved into some profit. I'm going to move the stop to break even, then I'm just going to let it play out. Comes back and stops at break even. Finds some new support here. I'm going to drag the support zone up a little bit. I'm buying. This is all with one contract size. Stop just under it. Starting to lurch into some profit. Let's see. Let's see where it goes here. I'm going to go ahead and protect this at a break even right here. Now let's try to decide on a target. I'm going to go ahead and set a target up there at a higher high. This has really got moving pretty fast, so I'm just going to kind of like wait and see if it can have like a nice little move higher. You can see we almost had the profit target filled. Set the target just a little bit higher. So this one comes back at break even. In reality, you might be closing a trade like that once it gets close to the profit target, especially after it comes back. And you're going to have plenty of time to do this over the course. So from here to here, it was about 20 minutes, right? So you have plenty of time to sit there and watch, even though you're trading on the 15-second chart. I know some people will kick and scream that it's the 15-second chart. It's really not that big of a deal because it's so liquid. The prices are exact. The commissions are tiny. You can be there, over the course of all this. You saw this one went into like over a $450 profit at the max P&L that it was at. Say you would have closed it right there, you would have made back everything you lost, and the commissions are negligible because every single trade that you've seen me just place here on the little back testing demo thing, it's only $2.80 commission per trade. If you don't believe me, you can look and see right here. You see the fees? $2.80 per one contract size. And on some trades, I'm losing like $12, $50, and other trades I'm winning like $200, $300. So I'm going to keep on going through and trading. We're going to see. Okay, so this one looks like it's bouncing here. So this is the zone that I'm using. Put a stop just underneath. That one stops out. This looks like it's going to be going down from here now. So I'm going to wait for it to either bounce up a little bit so I can get a better entry, or I'll wait for it to break below. Okay, so that looks like it's dropping from there. So I'm going to enter. I'm going to put a stop just above the recent high. Target's going to be somewhere lower. We don't know exactly where the target will be, but we'll go ahead and just wait. So this one has met the stop loss order. I'm going to wait for it to pull back in here, and then we're going to buy as soon as it gets here. Well, you saw it already took off from there, but I mean, let's say we got a shitty entry. This is also a lot more risk. Usually my average loss is $70 because I'm closing early and I'm managing the trade as it goes into profit or loss. But in this case, it was a little bit shittier of an entry. So honestly, right there would probably be a better spot to have entered. So this one hits stop loss. Since this is going sideways here at this support zone, I'm going to sell, put my stop above and my target somewhere below. We don't know where it will be getting into the trade. That stops out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy, thinking that it might go up. And again, all these trades can happen in one session. Like for example, this was 1711. This is all in an hour and a half of trading, right? An hour and a half of trading. That's literally it. So it's not really a lot of time. If this can break the recent high, what I'll do is I'll move the stop to break even. So it goes and stops out. See, we're down about $1,000 in the account so far. Most people can't do this because they get so bent out of shape whenever they take losing streaks. As long as your losses are small, it should never be something that you worry too much about. I mean, it sucks to lose multiple trades in a row, but I mean, that's trading. As long as the losses are not that big, you have to look at it it's like the cost of doing business essentially. So I'm going to enter a sell here. I'm going to put a stop right above these recent highs here. Target will be somewhere lower. It's going to be further than that, but I'm just going to put it there for now. If it crosses this low right here, I'm going to move the stop to break even. Let me just wait just a second here. Yeah, see, I thought something like that would happen. If it crosses these lows, I'll probably put it to break even just above the recent high right there. All right, so it goes up, comes back to retest the support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get long in here as soon as it tests the support. It looks like it just kind of fell through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disregard that. We're going to use the new levels that have just gotten created right here, which is that low right there. Wait for price to continue into profit, or at least continue in the clear direction. This looks like it's going to go up. I'm going to buy. I'm going to put a stop just under one of the recent lows. Target will be somewhere above. We don't know yet. So let's see if we can get something clear here. So it pulls back. I'm going to add right here, and then I'm going to move the stop just under here. So that way, in case it stops out, it's a tiny loss. So for now, it starts moving into profit. Let's decide on a final target somewhere up here. That way we can really get some profit if it starts moving. When this thing gets moving in session, like during New York session, it really gets moving fast. And of course, since the commissions are nothing and the spread is nothing, it means you can get super nuanced entries with a lot of texture and granularity since you're on the lower time frames and since there's literally no spread and tiny commissions. I'm going to move the stop to break even on this one. In fact, I probably would have done it much sooner. So this entire time, it's been 21 to 23. So it's been like 2.5 hours. So the cool part with futures is you don't have to sit around all day waiting. Okay, so that one hits the profit target. Again, with very low commissions, right? Every single trade you saw is less than $3 of commission here. You'll now see we're up on the account even after the losing streak. And on top of that, we're going to keep going. As a matter of fact, we'll try to grow the account to like, say, $1,000. So this is 22nd of June from 17 to the 23rd of June, first thing in the morning, like midnight. So this is through just a couple hours of trading, right? And most of them didn't work out, which is the case. Again, if you look at my Top Step win rate here, my win rate's like, I think 38% as of this video right now. Average win is about double my average loss. And again, with this, it's easier for me to manage in real time because a lot of these trades, I'll choose to close it early if it goes into loss, or, like put a break even quicker or something like that. So, I mean, these are my actual stats here. So, it is what it is. And right here, you'll see the reason it works is because whenever you do win, you win a lot more and you're not chewed up with commissions and high spreads. So let's go ahead and we're going to keep trading here. I'm going to sell right here because I think it'll go down. I'm going to put a stop just above that little recent high right there, and we'll see which way it goes. So it started to go into profit. Broken, retested, started to go down. So I'm going to protect it with a break even. Most of them will come back for break even, and that's okay. What matters is that you're protecting the account balance. So that way when you lose, you only lose a small amount. And Forex, that right there would have stopped out since it's futures, even though it was one tick away from the stop loss. It doesn't matter because, you're not going to get triggered. So that one comes out at break even. This looks like it's getting geared up to go back up. So I'm going to buy. I'm going to set a stop loss, just below the little recent lows right there. So it goes and hits stop. So now we got to decide if it's going to go up or down. In this case, I'm going to wait for it to have a clear break past one of these. In that case, it looks like it's broken past the lows. Looks like it's trying to continue down. I'm going to get a little low risk entry there to stop just above. It takes the stop out. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to wait for to try to get a buy entry. I'm going to buy right there. I'm going to put a stop just under that little recent low that got formed. I'm talking about this one right here. Okay, so that goes into profit. I'm going to move the stop to break even. This is looking like it's going to come back and throw us out at break even, but that's okay. So that threw us out at break even. What's important is to protect the account balance, which is why you've seen, like, even after the horrible losing streak of however many trades at the beginning of this video, over the course of a few hours, that whenever you finally do get a win, it brings it all back with also oftentimes tons of profit. And to be fair, I don't really take a 10 trade losing streak very often. You can go and look at all my performance stats and top step, and it's probably going to update as I continue into next week and the next couple weeks or few months of trading. So you can see it all. So right here, we're still at the same balance, and it's been about one trading day. Technically, it's only been like less than half of a trading day because it's been, I think, like less than 12 hours. And we're still sitting at break even on the account. So, I mean, the risk is controlled. Everything's structured. I'm going to move all the support resistance zones off the chart for now, and I'm going to wait till something a little bit more clear sets up. So this is looking like it's going to break above the zone. We've got some higher lows here, so maybe it'll break above, maybe it won't. I'm going to buy there at the resistance zone, the unforgivable sin of buying at resistance and selling at support. Anticipating a breakout, so we'll see if it gets moving. It does get moving. I'm going to move the stop to break even. So that came back and started to bounce. If I'm being real, like I would have taken a trade there. I paused it a couple candles too late. So let's see if it can pull back here. It's not going to pull back. So I'm going to enter again right here at this zone. I'm going to put my stop just underneath, and I'm going to just restart the position if it hits the stop and goes to the next zone. That's the cool part with futures, is you could just re-enter if it screws up or something. I'm going to set my target up here. We're going to see what happens. So it does go up, it hits the target. So we're halfway to the growth target. And again, random trades like this happen. It just doesn't happen very much. When we go and look at the actual performance stats, let's see. So the profitable trade is only 36%. So this mirrors my Top Step results right here. You'll see my trade wins about 38%, right? Just over 38%. You'll see here my profitable trades is only 36%, and that counts break-even trades, right? Even if it's a $12 profit. So it's still essentially break-even for that. There's been 22 trades. I've only won 8 trades out of those 22. Profit factor is 1.3. I think in Top Step it's like, 1.3. So this is all very similar stats. And again, you're seeing exactly what I'm doing. Like, I don't do anything different when live trading, except maybe I bring the stop to break even a little bit more often. But even with exactly what I've shown you, it mirrors almost my exact win rate and exact profit factor with Top Step with live trading this week. I've been calling all these live trades in the MFX Nick's Trades group, which is my live trading group. You can get coaching there. You can ask me whatever questions you want. You can live trade with me every day. There's a link in the description for that if you want to check that out. But I've been doing it all there, and I've been doing it all live. And I'm showing you exactly what I'm doing here in this video. So that way you can maybe go and test it out for yourself. So I'm going to buy right there. I'm going to set the target just a little bit higher, and I'm going to move the stop to break even. This looks like it's going to come back to break even, but that's okay. Again, if we have a winning trade, we're trying to protect the account balance. So we'll see what happens. So that does in fact come back for break even. Just coming in hot to the cascading the support zone. You can see we're at a time like this is like probably during London sessions, like 2 a.m. in the morning. Futures get a little bit more spiky during that time, a little bit more volatility, a little bit more momentum, a little bit more volume. And then they have the most volume during the New York session, whenever New York opens. I'm going to buy right there. I'm going to just put my stop underneath literally like just these recent few candles. You got to understand, if you're trading a breakout, it's either going to break out or it's not. And so you have to look at it this way. Say it were to break out and then come back and retest. Where would your stop loss go? Your stop loss would go just under the zone, right? Like just under that little recent area, because you think if it's going to bounce there, it's going to bounce. And if it breaks below, then you just want to be out of the trade. If you're trading a breakout the same way, it's perfectly fine to just put your stop loss right underneath the zone. Because if it stops out, it's a small loss, just like you saw there. I still think this is going to go up, so I'm going to buy again. I'm going to put my stop loss underneath the little recent lows right there. Just give it a little bit of room. Let it go into a bit more profit before moving the stop to break even. I feel like this will come back for break even just because we got a high right there. But again, it doesn't matter. All that matters is that we're making a little bit more when we're right versus what we're losing when we're wrong. And you never know how far a winning trade can go. So let's see how much profit we're in here. I'm going to try to be real careful here and perhaps might close this trade a little bit early. Let's see. Again, you have 15 seconds per candle to watch this. And if you're watching it live, it sounds insane, but it's not hard to do, honestly. I don't know why so many people bitch about it. There's literally no spreads. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this in profit here. We're trying to grow this by $1,000, you know, to sort of duplicate kind of what I've done last week, except it's not even a whole week of data. This is July 23rd. This has not even been 24 hours. Okay, it's not even been 24 hours. This has been like however long it's been. Maybe like you guys do the math, you can see all the times. throughout this whole video here in the bottom of the TradingView replay thing. I mean, I'm not the type of guy to just stay up trading futures all night. My wife is here sitting on the couch across from me. She'd probably like beat my ass if I like was waking up in the middle of the night with a bunch of TradingView alerts going off, trading futures at 2 a.m. and screaming that I'm losing money. So it's just not kind of life I want to live. So I mainly just trade during New York session. But regardless of what time you trade, there's plenty of money to be made regardless. So that stops out. I'm going to buy again right there. The reason for the buy is because it still looks like it's in an uptrend. Right, there's a bunch of higher lows forming. I don't use trend lines. You don't have to. I just use support resistance to structure it. If it's going to bounce right here, right, this is a break and retest, broke retest. If it bounces, cool. If it doesn't bounce and it breaks below this zone, I lose a tiny amount, and that's okay. I'm going to watch this here for a second. It still looks like it's in an uptrend, so I'm going to kind of hang out here and just kind of wait. Sharp rejection there. I'm going to use this zone here. For now, I'm going to buy with the stop just under that recent low right there. We'll see what happens. So we did get the breakout. I'm going to set the profit target around like $300 just because that's what we would need to get to the growth target. And it goes and hits the profit target. All right, so now we've made $1,000 here. Let's go ahead and take a look at my actual stats right here. So $1,000 P&L. Max equity drawdown was $1,400. Total trades is 28. And if we kept doing this, right, this is 1 day of trading, right? This is only like 28 trades. So it's like 30 trades over less than 1 day of trading. Imagine if we kept going, right? Imagine if we averaged just not even $1,000 a day, but say it was just like $500 a day. 5 trading days every week, that's $2,500 a week. That's $10,000 per month, and then pre-tax, it's $120,000 per year. And this is trading with the minimum contract size, and we only added to a winning trade 1 time, which I think is what I've actually done this past week. I've been trading. I think there's only been 1 or 2 times where I've added to a winning trade. I've barely even done that. I've honestly just been moving the stop to break even, letting the winners run, and if it loses, I let it get cut short at the stop loss, or I just close it early manually at a tiny loss or break even or a tiny profit. When examining the stats of doing exactly what I do, like 95% of what I do in real trading. Obviously, like, you know, if you want to trade live with me, just join the MFX Nick's Trades group. It's a subscription. You can follow all my live trades. You can trade with me live on Zoom. You can ask me questions 24/7 in the group chat or on Zoom sessions when I do them in the morning during the trading sessions. That's the best place to see 100% of what I do. But what I've just showed you here in the back testing, that is 95% of what I do. Aside from like moving stops to break even a little bit quicker or adjusting the stop or closing manually a little bit early, like all that stuff is nuanced. But even with what I've showed you here, and even with the crazy losing streak at the beginning of this thing, which was wild, the profitable trades, you can see a 39% win rate. In Top Step, you can see I have almost the identical win rate, right? Literally like 0.25% away from a 39% win rate. Profit factor is 1.5. In my live trading, the profit factor is 1.38. So in fact, in my live trading, my profit factor is actually even less. And I still was able to profit, but it's almost the same thing. It's about a 1.4. Here it's about a little above a 1.5. Same amount of P&L. Total trades was 28. I think I've taken 80 here in Top Step. Yeah, so total number of trades has been 80. And even over the course of 80 trades, right? This is like almost 3 times more trades than what we did here in back testing today. But you can see that even with 80 trades, my stats have remained the same, right? My average wins about 2 times my average loss. Profit factor is about a 1.4. Win rate sits just under 40%. Again, I'll put a link to this in the description and in the pinned comment of this video. You can see all whatever the hell these stats are here on Top Step, and then you'll see it also get updated as the weeks go on. This is just my first week trading with Top Step. I've been trading futures about 1 month and 1 week because I traded with a TradeStation for the first month. And I just put 2 5K accounts. The first account was like, I grew it a couple $100, like $300-400. It wasn't much. But the other account I grew from $5,000 to $8,000, trading just ES with 1 contract, barely adding to winners and certainly not adding to losses. $3,000 in a month on a 5K account with 1 contract size. Like it was, I mean, it's really insane, honestly. It's pretty crazy. So now I'm doing it with Top Step. We're going to see if this works out. Click the link below to check out my Top Step stats and also join my email list. I send out an email like almost every day, maybe like I take the weekend off or something. But I send out an email almost every day with something that'll help you in your trading. So if you're not on my email list yet, you literally just have to put your name and email in. It takes like 5 seconds, and you can unsubscribe at any time you want. If you think that my content is bullshit and it's just not helping you, it's fine. You can unsubscribe, no big deal. But that's where I take time to sit down and write out an email every single day to help people just like you learn how to trade, sharing everything that has worked for me over the past decade. With that being said, I'll see you in the next video, my friend. Cheers.